Greetings everyone. We're taking a ride down on memory lane today on Vaughan Road, a road I used to ride to and from work every day when I started riding motorcycles 12 years ago, on a motorcycle very similar to this one, a 1989 Suzuki GS500. And man, I love that bike. And when I saw this one on Kijiji randomly this summer, I had to have it. With clip-ons, it's the original gangster. And for me, this just look at this, complete with the leaves, because I started in September, so I kept riding and riding. I didn't winterize my bike, rode it all winter. It was hard on the bike with the salt roads and stuff, but this road, Vaughan Road, complete with the leaves and stuff, just it reminds me very vividly of that time. And you know, I was in my early 20s, and easy boys, and I invested so much energy into this identity of becoming a rider. I always wanted to ride motorcycles, but just it came at a point in time when I was channeling aggression and rebelliousness, you know, against everyone for choices being made for me and that kind of thing. And so the whole experience, the whole identity was tainted that way. I really enjoyed the sense of belonging to the community and just calling myself a rider. And I wasn't a fan of motorcycles, I was a fanatic. So my ideology was towards the extreme. And I wanted to become a good rider, and just wanted to graduate and get to higher cc bikes. This is a 500, and but I also, you know, wanted to immerse myself into and commit myself to the learning journey. So I would spend a lot of time on forums and reading various advice on how to ride safely and technique and that sort of thing. And that really did it for me. The whole identity thing, it just captured me. I was like, yes, I finally found who I am. I'm a rider. And then in springtime, I got a 750, a Ninja 750, and as you can imagine, I took that even more to the extreme, and I got into a lot of trouble. The Highway Traffic Act was definitely something that I wasn't following at all. Got a lot of tickets, and then I got my license suspended. I had at the end of the 2015 season, I sold my bikes, and that was a big failure. That hurt a lot, because I invested so much into that aspect, and now I had a epic, embarrassing failure, and it was painful. So, but then, you know, I moved on. What really did it for me, I started a new sport called kite surfing, a water sport. You just ride a kite along on the water, ride a board, use the kite to pull you along. And yeah, talking about escape and freedom, that really did it for me. Like, no rules on the water. You can, I mean, aside from some regular safety rules, and, you know, no cops with radar guns to clock you on, you know, what speed you're doing on the water and stuff like that. So I really love that aspect. And it was actually more difficult than riding a motorcycle. So then I wanted to share the stoke. I became an instructed a few times. It's difficult in Toronto and in the Southern Ontario. It's because you don't have the continuity of wind. It's difficult to be a beginner basically and learn. So it's best to go to the Caribbean. Nevertheless, so. But I kept in touch with the motorcycling world by going to, say, the FAST school, the racetrack school, or the dirt bike school. There's one, Trail Tours in Kananaskis, and one of the most fun aspects was renting scooters and bikes when, you know, traveling, like to the Caribbean, Cuba, Dominican. That just, you know, great stories. And one day, one of my riding friends also went away from sport bikes and got a scooter in the city to commute. So one day I stole his scooter, well, just borrowed it, but you know, I kept riding, not that kind of e-bike, but a real you know, internal combustion scooter. And that was so much fun, laughing in my helmet, zipping around town. And I said, you know, that's it, I'm getting back in bikes. And I got back through by getting a scooter, but this one a bigger one, 250cc Honda Reflex it was. And I was in transition at that point in time, between kind of jobs and switching. And I said, hey, wait a second, why don't I do courier work on this thing and just ride around the city all day delivering documents, small packages, that kind of thing. And I did that for a whole season, and then I did it again for the next year. And that was kind of where I learned, so to speak, the trade of riding in the city and basically avoiding hazards and just becoming aware of your environment, aware of what you're doing. It's just basically city riding, because it was all city all the time, in and out. And when you ride all day every day, you have to put up with a lot of traffic situations. So I draw a lot from that experience when I show tactics on how to ride on the street and stuff. And then I got a bigger scooter, and then I became an instructor. Took a course and worked with a few schools in the city here. And now I'm shooting these videos. I want to create kind of some video tutorials where I can kind of like taking a passenger with me on the back seat, but also so I can show them, you know, how to avoid, how to position yourself, anticipate, that kind of thing. I think that was enough. I've talked enough, but this is a great ride down memory lane. All right, everyone, see you later.